Check. I just wanna thank me for doing it when nobody made me, for doing it while nobody pays me. They can call it crazy, but they don't see it daily. And I've been finding ways, don't give a damn if you hating, and secretly waiting to see what I do next. It feels like a huge flex. I reach in my tool chest, never feel too pressed or depressed. Please miss me with any and all negative energy. Ooh.
Welcome to another episode of Opinionated Off Topic. Today I'm with my co-host Carlos Mojica, Cameron Theory, and we're with Jacob Hopkins, a local from Austin, entrepreneur himself. But yeah, we're gonna chop it up with him. It's another off topic, and let's jump right into it.
Were you born and raised?
Born and raised. Yeah.
It's supposed to be a good podcast. You know why?
Yeah, local.
You know why? Because I got a haircut.
Ah,
That was
yeah.
a good podcast when you get a haircut, you know?
I know. Boy, we're looking like Wolverine.
I
on here or
was out
something.
here looking rough. Hey, don't judge me on the other videos, all right? I didn't have to go and work for a whole month, so I was like, man, there's no reason to get a haircut.
Oh wow.
I was just inside.
You had no dates or nothing?
Absolutely not.
Ah, okay.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Just me, myself, and I.
Okay.
I would like it.
Okay.
Anyways, tell us a little about yourself, where you're from, where you grew up at, what you did growing up, all the hooting and hollering.
Yeah, so I'm from Lake Travis, born and raised in Austin. Went to Lake Travis High School. Did the Lake Travis thing, you know. Played football with his brother, Conley. Conley's the boy, he's the man.
Oh, yeah. Shout Conley.
So yeah, pretty simple. Growing
Your
up.
parents from here too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Growing up, did you play any sports or anything? Because I know Lake Travis, the football is a big thing over there. So I don't know if y'all played for them. Because I didn't play it, but they
Yeah.
had like pee wee football or stuff like that. Did y'all do any of that as well?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
played. It was mostly football. Like I
Mostly
tried all the other stuff. I did some skateboarding. I don't know if you guys ever skated.
Never skated. Done
Never
board sports,
skated in
but
my
not
life.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done. I've done.
Yeah.
I've never skated. Yeah.
I skated and then I played football. Went out in the lake, that sort of thing.
Oh yeah. Love the
I mean,
lake.
It's hard not to go out in the lake when it's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No baseball? Or you play baseball? You didn't?
I just never got into it.
No.
I just never could do it now.
It's not a fun, easy sport to get into, because especially as a kid, 'cause it's boring. It's like a
Yeah.
boring sport.
And it's expensive too, like for us parents.
like
and
travel,
stuff.
like
Yeah.
travel ball is expensive. So like getting into it as a kid, it's very, very boring because there's not a lot of action in it, like basketball, football, skateboard. It's always something going on. Baseball is like, all right, gotta sit, gotta wait for the pitcher. Maybe the ball's gonna come to me, maybe not.
Yeah.
It was very, very boring.
Did
So
you play?
I played baseball. Yeah, that was my
Okay.
sport.
That's why you're pitching, right?
Yeah. We haven't had many baseball players on here.
Yeah. Hey.
You gotta find them when you can. Anyways, so you played football growing up. Did the Lake Travis thing, went to high school and whatnot. You played football there, I'm assuming.
Played football at Lake Travis, yeah.
Yeah, all for 4 years.
All four, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Were you freshman, varsity, or is it like freshman, JV, varsity?
So I was freshman, I think, with freshman team. And then sophomore year, I played mostly JV. Like at the end, I got brought up. And then junior and senior year varsity. And then my senior year, I actually got a really bad concussion.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this is like game 2. And I went for a tackle and I just like hit the back of my head really hard. I thought I was dumb for like 6 months. Like I could not think.
Really? It was that bad?
Really?
Yeah. So I didn't.
Sheesh.
Yeah, it took me out that season.
Yeah.
What is football like at Lake Travis? I always wondered that. Like, what is football like?
It's
Like-
crazy, man. It's crazy because like there's school and then there's football,
Mhm.
and football is number one at Lake Travis. Like school is just like you go and you sleep. This sounds terrible, but that's how it is. Like everyone just went and like we did well in school, that sort of thing. But it was like always football. Like from you'd get there at 5:30 and you'd stay till like 7:30 almost every day. So it's crazy.
Like 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
I mean, is there
It's damn near ran like a college there.
Yeah.
That's why they're so ready when
Well,
you go.
is there? I thought there was like rules intact where like you can only do it.
Well, I mean, we got to Fugaro at 5:30.
Really?
Yeah, because you had to practice for school.
But after school,
Yeah, I mean, you would do like weights and
is that mandatory or no?
kind of.
No.
I mean, it's optional, but if you don't go, you're not gonna play type deal.
yeah.
You know.
That was for y'all too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because well, the reason I'm asking is because like I see all these like We went to Pflugerville, and we don't have
Mhm.
the best facilities, and also not the best coaches. But like you see, like the IMGs, the Lake
Mhm.
Travises, the Del Valleys, and the Bishop Gormans,
Mhm.
like the facilities are insane.
Yeah.
And like, do y'all like know like how good y'all have it, or is it just like, damn, we got this? And it's
I think
whatever.
we're spoiled.
Yeah,
Honestly, I think we're spoiled.
yeah. So you never been in the trenches like us.
Yeah.
Our
Flugerville wasn't that bad.
the weight room,
Okay, that was bad, but like our field was
the
nice.
field was nice. Well, yeah, it was nice.
It was nice our junior and senior when they redid the
when
turf.
they redid the turf,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the
But
basketball court's nice.
yeah, I don't have like an indoor practice field.
No.
Yeah.
There's some crazier like facilities in Texas.
Yeah,
that
well,
we went
Del
and visited.
Valley,
Oh,
Allen.
Yeah, and then that school, it's like McKinney ISD. They play the D2 national championship there.
Oh, that big ass stadium.
Yeah,
built?
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah. So you think y'all spoiled? Y'all don't really like.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Like it's
their weight room is crazy, dude. It's like you
Lake
can,
Travis?
yeah, you can look like right at the field. They have like garage doors. You can like they raise them up. You can like walk onto the field
it's dope.
from the gym.
It's dope.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
And it's
is
separated.
it
Like,
big?
It's pretty big. They like redid it halfway through.
isn't y'all's like separated too? Like it's football only.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We had to
sure.
yeah, we had to share.
And then even
because I was in baseball never took that that weightlifting room. We always went to wrestling.
I
Yeah.
forgot we had that wrestling area with the
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we went
Yeah.
there. Damn, sorry. I always wanted that. I always wondered if y'all like knew, like, damn.
It's like
it's-
I mean, it's like a
Yeah.
college campus there. Like you
like-
drive and they got the baseball stuff up there, and it's crazy.
Yeah, because
huge.
we're big into football, and
Mhm.
high school started before everybody, obviously, and they had the big games like the Bishop Gorman versus who did Bishop Gorman play?
Modern day.
Mater Day, yeah.
Yeah.
And they then you had IMG versus Central Miami, and
Yeah,
like
American Heritage played Los Alamitos.
and they were like all on ESPN, but I watched the highlights on Under Armour's channel, and like you just see their facilities. I'm like, dude,
They
what?
shoot, even they were just on ESPN. They played Arlington Martin
they played
on that
Arlington Martin.
Thursday game we were watching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Y'all lost, right?
I think so.
They did lose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you know if y'all are very good this year?
I honestly don't know.
they're
Yeah.
0-2 right now.
Yeah.
They lost to Steel last weekend, but they have a hard like
I mean, y'all typically play a hard
yeah.
schedule.
Then they'll beat everybody else, and then like Westlake. That's really the only school they got to worry about.
I think that's what they do. They line up like the first two games as tough
Uh-huh.
games, and then they just
Everybody else is
Yeah.
easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, after high school, enough about high school. What did you decide to do? Did you go into college? You get a scholarship? Well, obviously not because you had a concussion.
Yep.
You're out. So did you even have offers?
I didn't have any offers. I was picking between Pepperdine USD and
University, South Dakota.
San Diego.
University of
Diego?
San Diego.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, and San Diego State. So I was picking between those schools. And during that time, I was just trying to find out like which school would actually open
Mhm.
because it was during COVID. Like COVID just hit, everything was crazy. And so I ended up picking Pepperdine because I was like, all right, Pepperdine's a small school. It's the private school. I think they'll open. And then 2 weeks before school actually started, like I was ready to go, had everything packed. They sent me like this backpack that was like, we're so excited to have you.
Mhm.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks before, I was notified that the other two schools opened,
Yeah.
but then Pepperdine shut down.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was pretty bummed out at that time because like all my friends were shipping out to school, and I was just there like, okay, well now what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
What made you want to go to Cali?
Yeah. South, especially SoCal.
I don't know. Like I think my parents went to school there.
Where'd they go?
They went to some medical school
Mm,
in Loma Linda. So yeah,
heard of
they
it.
went they went to a medical school there. So they were pushing me to go out there just because like it's a fun place to be when you're.
Oh yeah. I was just out. It's so nice, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was looking at going over there, and then it just all got shut down. And that was like during the time period where, yeah, everyone was leaving, and I just didn't really even like school that much, anyways. So I was sitting at home,
wonder
like I was sitting at home like a couple hours a day doing, or all day doing school with just like no one here. So it's not the most fun.
So did you like I guess since the school was I guess vacated or empty, did you like go to LA or you travel at all when you were in California?
So well, I was staying at home. So
Oh, okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
I
So you
stayed at
never
home.
even went up to Pepperdine.
Yeah, I never went.
Oh
out.
wow.
Yeah, so it was like all online.
Wow.
But even if you paid for a dorm, did they refund you the money since you couldn't go?
Yeah, I think so. You didn't have to pay for room and board. Yeah.
Okay. That's nice.
Okay.
Yep.
Damn. I feel like I would have just hey, mom, dad, get a like an apartment for a year or something.
And that,
6 months, something.
wait, what year was that?
That's
20 what?
2020.
2020.
2020. Okay,
Yeah.
because that was when I went to San Diego. I also went to San Diego December 2020, and it
Yep.
was like so weird. Like my roommate from college, he's from San Diego,
Yep.
and it was like the California is just so strict, so you couldn't do anything. Like you had to order all your food online, like wear a mask, go get it. It was crazy. So I couldn't even imagine if you
Yeah.
would have been able to go. Like it still would have probably been.
It was shut down.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still kind of strict because like I watch a lot. Like I'm a gamer, so I watch Twitch. Do you know what Twitch is?
Yep.
So Twitch has the TwitchCon in San
Mhm.
Diego. Everybody bought their tickets already, and then that happens next month.
Uh-huh.
Like a month and a half before it's gonna happen. Like it's expensive to go. It's like my friend went 1 year. She said she spent like $2,000. Like it's expensive to go. And then they just came out with it's mask mandated. Like you have to wear a mask if you're gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are people like, what the hell?
Yep.
Yeah,
Wait, that's like now?
yeah,
That's
Now.
crazy. Like,
now.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So there's I think it's a California thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they did it. Not much so Twitch wanted to, but I think it's like a California thing.
Yep. I was there during like when COVID hit.
Yeah.
I was in San Diego for a vacation, whatever. And I just remember like within like 2 days, everything was shut down. We were trying to go out to eat, all
Wow.
that stuff. and it was
Yeah.
done. Yeah.
That's
Freaking
crazy.
nuts. That's crazy.
It's a horrible
It
vacation.
was a weird time.
Yeah. So go to Pepperdine.
Yep.
Well, you don't go, but you're in Pepperdine. And then are you just sitting there? It's like, dude, I don't want to do this anymore.
Exactly. So I've always been like super business minded entrepreneur.
Mhm.
So like take a step back. So during my senior year of high school, do you know what drop shipping is? Either of you?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I was always like in the online hustle, like what do I do? What do I do?
Yeah.
So that was like the thing to do back then. And so I was trying it like a couple years before then. I just never really committed. And like in that time period, I started going around
Real
walking.
quick, sorry to cut you
Yeah.
off for the viewers. Can you just explain what drop shipping is?
Yeah, so drop shipping is where you take, product from China
Mhm.
and then you sell it in the US. So like Amazon drop shipping still works, but like Amazon's just so much better. So it's not, in my opinion, it's not a great long-term business model because you have like such long shipping times, all this stuff, but it allows you to start a business with very little overhead
Mhm.
because you can just buy the product when someone orders it.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah. But continue what you were saying.
Yeah, so I've always been super business minded, whatever. So I
Yeah.
was trying drop shipping. During that time, I ran a mobile car detailing business. So I ran
Okay.
that with actually Tag,
Okay.
my buddy Tag. He's
Yeah.
one of my best friends
Yeah.
growing up. And so we were just rolling that on the weekends, like in between football, when we had a break, we just go and wash people's cars. So I was like knocking on doors, trying to sell people on, hey, can I detail your car? So we'd go around and do that. And it was actually like doing pretty decent
Yeah.
for us
Yeah.
doing it on the weekends.
Yeah, especially in high school and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and just that area. Like, I mean, you
It's a
feel
good-
like-
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
It's a good area.
People are gonna pay for that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they'd tip nice, and we were watching like 10 to 12 cars a day on the weekend. So
Okay.
I started doing that, saved up some money, and then I got into drop shipping. I was like, okay, like I'm done washing cars. I'm gonna figure out this drop shipping thing. And so I took all my money and spent it like on a program to figure out drop shipping. So I'm not gonna learn from my own mistakes. I'm just gonna like figure this out.
Yeah.
And so I invested a lot of my money into it, and then like the next month I did like 4,000 in revenue. I was like, this is nuts. Like I was
Yeah.
on my computer, I was sitting in class, I was
Yeah, that's
while
crazy.
the teacher was, teaching us whatever, I'd just be sitting there just
Yeah.
ramming out these stores, running ads, all that stuff.
Yeah.
The next month it scaled up to 35K.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, like this is something I'm gonna be able to not go to school. This
Yeah,
is my dream
absolutely.
to be able to just like, okay, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna write it out. My parents are gonna make me go, whatever.
Yeah.
And so COVID hit, right? And drop shipping supply chains from China.
Mm.
So I started getting all these emails. In China, they go on like a new year. So they like party for like 3 to 4 weeks straight.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started getting all these emails saying like, hey, there's this thing called COVID. I had no idea
Yeah.
what COVID was at the time. I
Yeah.
was emailing all my customers. I'm like, there's COVID. They're like, what's COVID?
Yeah.
And, blah, blah, blah. And long story short, that business just got destroyed
Yeah.
because I was running ads. I was still marketing it hard,
Yeah.
but I couldn't fulfill anything. So like Facebook banned me. I got my account shut down, all that stuff. And so I was bummed after that.
Jeez.
Because it was the first thing that I got that like stuck.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm writing this all the way out.
During this whole time you're making all this money, like, do you tell your parents? And if you did, like, what do they say? What do they think about it?
So I don't remember how much I told them about it. I mean, they knew I was just rolling with it, but on that business, like the profit margin was so thin. Like even when I did like 35K in a month, like I'd make like 6 or 7. So it was still good money, but that was like 1 or 2 months. So it wasn't.
I feel like that's still like a lot of money for someone who's in high school though. Like
Yeah.
trying to run their own business.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, even for a regular person now, like making that much money in a month, you're just like, it's life changing. Honestly, I mean,
Yeah.
they could pay a lot of stuff off. That's money to get a house. Like, I mean, it's crazy. Honestly.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. No, for sure. And I don't. They were always like happy, but they're always like, what is this? Like they don't really understand, and so they don't even know if it's like I don't even know what's going on. I was just like, oh, I'm spending money on ads. I'm making this money here. Oh, this is cool. And then it all shut down. So to like refund a bunch of people. So I think that's kind of what happened there. Makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. And so as I was scaling after that got cut down, I was like, all right, now I'm gonna have to pick the school. And this like fast forwards to
Okay.
when I picked the school, the one that didn't open,
Yeah.
open. And so at that time I was like, all right, I got the next idea. It's an app. I'm gonna make this crazy app. I called it Book Me. Do you guys know what like Bump was? Like
Bump?
back in the day, like
Bump?
bump your phone.
Yeah.
So think of it like that.
Okay.
So I hired one of my friend's brothers. He worked at like Google. He did like UX design, and he designed like this sick presentation, this slideshow. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be Zuckerberg, whatever. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
completely unrealistic expectations, right?
Yeah.
And so as this was happening, I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure out.
It died.
Okay, you can keep talking. Use that camera.
But
You're good.
should
Go
we,
ahead.
all
Go
right,
ahead.
should we
That
go?
card, that
Yeah.
card probably needs to be formatted. That's probably what it is.
Where was I?
Oh, you said you were gonna like meet Zuckerberg and you had all these crazy ideas.
Oh yeah. I thought I was gonna be the next Zuckerberg. So I go around, and this is right when school was getting like I was not going to school, or I was going to school, but all my friends are leaving. So I just text all the people on my phone that I know. I'm like, hey, do you know anyone that might be interested? I texted all the people I washed their cars that I knew had sick cars, right? To see if I could get an investor within, the app. So I went around, and I was driving to my friend's house. It's like the last day I was going to be here. And I get this text from my phone. And it was one of the people I watched their cars with, forever. I knew he lived in my neighborhood. He was like one of my neighbors, and he had a sick Bentley. So I was like, okay, this is sweet. And I knew he was in the internet business, but I didn't know to what extent at the time. And so I'm like, okay, I still remember I whipped my car,
Yeah.
hit a U-turn,
Yeah.
drove all the way there. And I walk in, I'm just sweating, dude.
Yeah.
Like so nervous because it's this big dude. He's intimidating.
Yeah.
He's like 32, but I've
Okay.
heard he's like super rich.
Yeah.
Right. So I walk in there, and I take out my pitch deck and I just pitch it to him. And he looks at me after. He's like, "Why do you think you can do this?" And I was just like, I was like, I don't.
I'm super nervous.
I was like,
yeah.
this is a cool idea, I thought.
Yeah.
And he just paused, and he's like, man, I got a lot of money, but I wouldn't put anything into this. And at that time, I was just like completely humbled. Like I thought it was gonna be the next big thing. I was like, all right, yeah. And he said it in like the nicest way possible.
Yeah.
So then I walk home, and I'm sitting there, school like class is right about to start, and I'm like, okay, well, this idea is crushed. I guess I'm just gonna go to school and do this.
Yeah.
And so I started going to class, and a couple days later, he texted me and he goes, hey, where do you lift?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, the HCI, the local gym.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, come lift with me. So I started lifting with him like a couple times a week. And I started to get to know him a lot better and like look into what he did. And he built this company called Gym Launch.
Okay.
And his name's Alex Hormozi. So he's like
Yeah.
blowing. Do you know Alex Hormozi?
I watched that video earlier
You watched
today.
it? Yeah. So he's like blowing up in this space, right? In like the internet online marketer entrepreneur space. And so we just started building this like sick relationship where we lift together, and he'd give me advice, he'd give me different ideas, that sort of thing. And then boom, next business idea. Like I'm gonna jump into real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know what wholesale real estate is?
Yeah.
What is wholesale real estate?
So wholesale real estate it's it's also an interesting business model. I honestly don't really like it. So you basically provide the contract.
Mhm.
So you cold call, or you go and you find different homes to buy. Then you put them under contract, and then you sell the contract to an investor. So you're basically like the middleman.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Really, your job's to find good deals, and then you put a markup on the deal, and then you sell the
I
deal.
feel like that's very hard.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, especially
It's
here.
it's tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, so I take all the money I made drop shipping,
Okay.
and then me and like my roommate now, Blake,
Mhm.
say we're gonna go into this wholesale real estate thing. We're gonna figure it out because Alex is like, this is what you should do.
Mhm.
I'm like, cool. So I go,
Do you do you still plan on doing the app you wanted to do?
no, I scrapped that idea.
What was it?
So it was like the bump. So it was
Uh-huh.
called Book Me, and it really just exchanged contact information like seamlessly. I thought it'd be cool with like COVID to just be able to like
Mhm.
airdrop someone's contact
Mhm.
and then be able to. I thought
Like a business card almost.
exactly.
Yeah.
And at the time, like my thought process is like I know all these cool people, you
Yeah.
know, from where we grew up. I want to be able to keep a lot of their contact information
Mhm.
like long term, and I always break my phone, like my phone. But there's like iCloud contacts,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that exists. So it was a little bit flawed, but I thought it was sick at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it was
I mean,
cool.
everybody is, yeah.
Well, you have to think
Remember
about that
it.
too. Like nobody at that age is thinking like that either. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like it might be flawed, but you're still developing an idea and at least attempting to run with it.
Yeah.
So that's important.
I'll show you guys the slide deck after. It's
Yeah.
pretty sick.
Cool. Yeah.
So you figure out, I guess, basically what you want to do. You go into wholesale marketing,
Mhm.
and from there, do you like? How long do you do that for?
Yep. So I took like all the money I had left over from drop shipping,
Mm-hmm.
and then went in. Like I think we spent between me and Blake, we spent like 12,000 on like the how to wholesale, right? And so we start going through this program trying to figure it out, and our overhead climbs to like 2 to 3 grand a month
Mhm.
because you have to spend a lot of money to buy these lists, like render the list, actually get the
Mhm.
lead. And then there's like the cold calling software, there's the messaging software. It gets expensive. And so I probably did that like the first month. We're like, okay, if we just get one deal, we'll be able to pay because you'd make like 10, 15,000 off a deal.
Yeah.
So we were just like, we just need one.
Yeah.
Right. Month 2 rolls around, we get nothing. Month 3 rolls around, we get nothing. And so I'm sitting there, and during this time I'm in school too. So I'm doing the class, and then as soon as I'm done with class, like I made this like crazy Google Calendar where I'd like wake up, cold call, go to class,
Yeah.
et cetera, like
Mhm.
figured it out.
This was while you're in college.
This is while I was in school. So I was doing online school at home. And it got to the point where, well, I guess let me take a step back. So I walk into Alex's house, right? My neighbor, and I'm getting a call from wholesaling. So I pick up the phone call, and I'm trying to like sell this guy on why we should buy his house,
Yeah.
right? And I hang up the phone, I turn around, and Alex like, "You suck at sales." And I'm like, "Huh? How do I get good?"
Yeah.
He's like, "You just got to do more." I'm like, "Okay, well, how do I do more?" And he's like, "Let me think about it." And so I just keep calling, keep calling, keep calling. And then I get to the point where it was honestly a terrible time because I was going to school. It was like one of my finals. So it was like finals week while I was trying to run this business and
Yeah.
figure it out, just like watching my bank account just bleed, like almost into the negatives.
Yeah.
And so on top of that, then I cheated on a final.
They caught you?
They caught me.
Was it like Proctor you or whatever?
It wasn't even. So
Doctors where you like had to have your phone like
Yeah.
people, right?
Proctor you can definitely finesse, but that's another story. But
it was the most basic software. And this is how she caught me. So this is another reason why I think college is a giant scam, right? So
yeah.
she took the Quizlet, and
Uh-huh.
we had the same Quizlet, the same answer
Yeah.
question.
Oh yeah, all the tests.
as the test.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's so many tests like that. It's ridiculous.
It was the exact same. Like, you're not even gonna make the test. Why am I gonna make my answers?
No, right.
Like,
Yeah.
So, anyways, I got caught cheating on the test, and so I failed that class. My GPA dropped like a whole point because of that. I was losing a ton of money from the real estate, so I was just like I've been isolated from all my friends for like 6 months or something. So I was just in like a really weird head spot,
Yeah.
headspace.
That's it. Yeah.
And so it ended up getting to the point where I just couldn't pay for the wholesaling anymore. So I'm like, I need to figure something out. And one of the same days I go to lift with Alex, and he just offered me, he's like, hey, why don't you come work for his company gym launch?
Mm.
And so I'm like, sure, I have to, like, I just need
Yeah,
money, so
yeah.
I would love to. So I started working there, and I started just doing cold calls for them,
Okay.
right? And I remember him saying to me, he's like, I can get your foot in the door, but it's grow or die. Like,
Okay.
you're younger than anyone else that's going to be at the company. You have less experience. You have no experience,
Yeah.
right? So he was like, you're going to have to make 200 dials when everyone makes 100. You're going to have to do twice, 3 times the volume as everyone else just to be good enough. And then maybe one day you'll be all right.
Yeah.
So I just went with that mindset in, right? I think that's like the most important mindset, in my opinion, to go into anything with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even with, like, now I'm trying to do some content as well. It's like, if
Yeah, I've seen that. You're doing those clips are good, bro. Like,
I appreciate it.
yeah, keep those up.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, if you do it for a long enough period of time
Mhm.
and put the reps in, like, at first you'll suck, but then you'll just
Yeah.
get good enough where you'll actually be great.
Mhm.
Right. And so, yeah, I jumped into that. I started doing that. I remember my first paycheck was like $375, like, for 2 weeks of cold calling. And as soon as I got that, I was stoked. I was like, all right, this is sick. I'm gonna move out of my parents' house. I'm gonna drop out of school. I'm gonna figure this out.
Mm.
And so that's what I did. Yeah, I dropped out of school. I was trying to figure out if I wanted to go with gym launch or wholesaling for like a little period of time. And I ended up just dedicating, I knew I couldn't focus in on 2 things at once.
Yeah.
Like, I just know that's the number one way to fail, in my opinion, is trying to, like, spread your attention so
I
thin.
believe that too. Yeah.
And so I just went all in with the sales stuff and just studied, like, super hard on it.
So you dropped out and left your parents after your $375 paycheck?
You just said
Sounds stupid, right?
full
Yeah,
set.
no, yeah. Well, I'm just like, because at that point, it's like you get $375 in 2 weeks. Like,
I was doing the math. I was like, all right, I just have to I have to sell twice as hard. If I sell twice as hard, I'll make $600 in 2 weeks. I can pay for rent. I got like a little 1,000 square foot space with like 2 of my friends.
Oh wow.
So it was like 3 of us and 1,000 square feet on West Campus in UT.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, all right, this was literally my, like, justification. Like, I'd sell twice as hard, which I knew I could do because it was like my first week. I'll make $600 per paycheck. 600 will go to rent. So 2 weeks of my work will go to rent. Like, a week will go to food, and then a week I can stack in my bank account or, like, pay my other bills. Right. So after that, I signed the lease. I think it was like end of January 2021.
what are your? It's just crazy. It's like, what do your like parents like say about this or think about this? So like, are they on board with it?
Yeah.
They're like, it's your life, or like, no, you need to stay in school. Like,
Especially because they both sound like super successful. So
Yeah.
and
like-
I'm assuming they're paying for the college as well.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. So that was like, yeah, I got looked at very weird for a lot of people because, like, you're going to a very nice school. It's in Malibu. It's like where Zoe 101 was filmed, and you're
Mhm.
dropping,
Yeah.
you're dropping out. You're like getting cut off financially
Yeah.
just to do this. And so it was what I thought was right. So I just, like, went for it. And to answer your question, my parents were great, man. Like, through the whole thing, I told them, like, junior year of high school that I was gonna drop out. Right. So I'd, like, mess with them, like, I'm gonna drop out of college. I'm not gonna go to school.
Mhm.
So I kind of, like,
They kind of
Prime
already
them.
knew. Yeah.
I, like, primed them for it. And then my mom was definitely scared about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, my dad was, like, super supportive, and he was probably scared. He probably just didn't show it. And then they just bet on me, which I'm super thankful for,
Yeah.
because I know a lot of people's parents don't do that.
It's just hard, man, because college isn't for everybody, man.
Yeah.
Like that's what I feel like most parents don't understand
Mhm.
that,
Yeah.
that didn't go to college,
Mm-hmm.
or even if they did, like college isn't for everybody. It's
Yep.
not something that anybody can do, and it's expensive. 'Cause
It's expensive.
And if you aren't blessed like you were, like,
Yeah.
and you have to pay for the like, either the parents got to pay for it, and they got to take money out of their
Yeah.
bank to pay for it, and not cheap, or
Mhm.
you have to pay for it, and you have all these student loans after you graduate.
Yeah.
I think you're just in all this debt. Like, it's not as fine and dandy as
Yeah. Like if you don't have
being
that
back again,
academic,
like, oh, I went to college, I got a degree.
yeah, if you don't have like, that academic money or go play sports, it's definitely hard for, I mean, just the average person to even go, and or it just takes a long time for someone, and they're like, damn, I graduated at 26. I feel like I wasted this much of my youth. I remember in that video that you sent me, he was saying that one of like the points for him about like college was I mean, you could go to school for 4 years, but you're missing out on all this money that you could be making in between, and then just other opportunities for growth. And like you said, it varies because I mean, you can go to college, meet some great people. Like I kind of feel like the pathway, a tree of network and connections that I made and kind of disposed to my friends. It was because I went to college and met certain people. So I mean, you can look at it different ways. But also I was telling CJ, our roommate, before we shot your podcast today, that it's different. Like our generation is knowing you can do entrepreneurship and bet on yourself and stuff, but we're finding it out a little later. Like we're finding it out when we're either in school or out of school. Meanwhile, like your generation is doing it immediately, like in high school or right after college and stuff like that. And I feel like it's just going to keep trickling down, and we're not going to be doing a lot of people that are our age, like our demographic, aren't going to be doing like traditional jobs and stuff. And I always tell people too, like you're realistically like getting like all rich people either have their own business, started something, or they're just super high up in corporate, and like we know how long that takes, and then like all the backstabbing and stuff that comes with it. So it's definitely super cool to like hear all that and your journey and all that stuff. So
I mean, there's definitely pros and cons to like going to college or not going to college.
Yep.
But I mean, I don't know. I've always felt like it depends on what you want to do. Like
It does.
I'm like your parents went to medical school, and
Yep.
I don't know exactly what they do, but like if you're doing surgery on somebody, take your ass to college. But if I'm like trying to be on ESPN, like why do I need to like
yeah, for real.
Exactly.
go
Like,
to college to talk some sports?
Yep.
yeah.
So that's, I mean, I like there's probably other stuff behind it why they like say it, but like that's what I think about. It's like
And a lot of skills you can just learn online. Like you said, like
So many.
you're like your college essentially before you went to school was
Yep.
paying for that drop shipping software and all that stuff. Like Albert, the dude we called earlier, he spent all his money on camera equipment. Like that's his college tuition because that's what he wants to do. So like you can look at it certain ways. You're still gonna have to spend money to make money, and like college is destined to set you up to make money, and it's like the traditional route to do. But then you could go spend money, like for us, like spending money on all this equipment and stuff like that. We want to do this long term, but this is like a tuition in itself too. So you can look at it all kind of ways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I feel like the list of things college is valuable for is getting thinner and thinner, just because there's so many people that are like teaching how to do stuff, and that like the internet like courses, they get a lot of hate because a lot of people came in at the beginning and just like did a cash grab.
Yeah, just trying to scam and like make a lot of money.
Exactly, and just like not produce high quality stuff. But if you can find someone that you really trust, like there's really good content out there from people who are actually doing the thing you're trying to do, right?
Yeah.
So like when you go to school, a lot of the professors haven't done what you're trying to do, or haven't done it for
Like-
10, 20 years.
you went to business school.
Yeah.
You're learning from someone who's never ran a business before.
Does that make
I
sense?
feel like there's a lot more that goes into business than like what's getting taught,
Bro,
in my opinion.
that's like, I mean, I always talk to you about it. Like one of my best friends, Justin Reed, like his dad's successful businessman. And I remember one time our coach was telling him, he's like, "What are you studying?" He was like, "Oh, business." And then Coach Riff was like, "Why are you studying business?" He's like, "Your dad is a successful businessman. Like you need to learn from him."
Yeah.
And like it's true. I mean, you can learn business classes and stuff, but
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, there's obviously like traditional mistakes you can make, but I feel like a lot of that stuff is just kind of just knowing and doing it
Yep.
too. I mean, everything works different for some people. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I could not agree more.
Yeah.
I can see it. I see the future of like college. I think it's going to completely shift. Like as people start realizing there's so much opportunity, and you can just buy the skills. Because like for me, I think of like my school is I pick what skills I want to learn, then I just go figure out who's the best at it in the marketplace right now, and if they either have free content or I can buy content from them. It's like once I can find that, boom, I can acquire that skill really quickly, and then I just do that a lot because I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but half like the jobs that you get, you learn on the job.
absolutely. I
Like,
mean,
you learn doing the thing.
just during like interview processes and stuff like that, for the most part, unless it's like a director or like high up level in corporate, you're not really gonna have like that much of a technical like interview. Like I've had technical interviews like for senior level jobs and stuff, and I guess it kind of depends. But when you're like entry level, like right out of school, all that stuff you learn, I mean, they don't even ask. It's more just like personality fit, how you work, like normal technical skills, problem solving skills, like questions like that. But it's never strictly about like what your task is going to be, and you're going to just learn either what software you're going to use at the job, or they're going to just train you on their processes. So like it is crazy to think about this. Like, dang, I mean, I remember when I was first interviewing, because I majored in accounting,
Yeah.
and I was just like, well, I learned all this stuff. I was like prepping, studying, like restudying stuff that I learned like years ago, early in my college, and I was expecting questions. Didn't get any questions. It was just all strictly what I just said earlier about just being a good fit for whatever company or role you're providing. And it's just crazy to think like, damn, I went to school for all this, and I know I still got to use these skills, but getting my foot in the door, it's like not
Yeah.
really required, you know?
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
And how much more did you learn, like actually at your first couple months on the job than you did in school?
Way more. I mean, I feel like in school, like you learn stuff, and you when you're working, you're like, oh, I can apply this with this, or there's certain terms or techniques or whatever that's applied. But on the job, I mean, everyone's so different. You're just learning different ways. You're learning how to be efficient and stuff. And I feel like the best way to learn in anything is just, experience, reps. I mean, like, for example, we weren't the best at interviewing people or being on camera or having like the camera presence. Our chemistry between each other, always cut each other off, talk over each other. But it's just reps. And I think with that applies to anything. I mean, you want to get faster, stronger, you need reps, or you want to get better at sales. Like it was just reps. I feel like if you just have to put the work in and obviously apply your knowledge, but you still have to put the work in too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel the same way. Like, the more you do, the more you're gonna get out of whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was your thought process like dropping out, like making the decision, like I'm dropping out? Like, what was that like? Because it's not easy. Because I'm sure like you had like not necessarily guilty conscience, but like damn, my parents are paying all this money, like they're probably already disappointed in me because I cheat on a test and all this and that. It's like I feel like I'm letting them down, but like I want to do this.
Yeah.
Like, what's that? What was that thought process like?
So I think it was a couple things. Like first, I was really lucky because like Alex, my neighbor, he took me on a walk and he would just like talk through the whole thing, and he was just basically figuring out like what do you want to do long term, right? And does this step in your journey get you closer to there? Does it like get in the way? And at the end of the conversation, I realized the reason I was going to school still was because it was socially acceptable for me to fail at entrepreneurship because it was a side thing. Like I was a college student, I was going to Pepperdine, I had this business on the side. So like I was allowed to fail at the business, right? And I'd still be like
At Pepperdine, yeah.
People would still look at me and be like, oh, like that he's a relatively like successful person. Like
Yeah.
he's still going to school, but he's trying this business, he's doing all these
Yeah.
things, right? But that's the only reason I was there. And then I asked like the dumb question, like, well, how do I have fun without school? And I actually, it's a good question because I get this question. Like, I have people reach out to me now and they're like, well, hey, man, how do I continue to have a social life outside of school? And it's possible. Like, you can 100% have it if you just, I mean, you've done it, right?
Yeah.
But it's also, sometimes you have to like make that sacrifice for what you want long term. So that was my thought process going in, and I pretty much went on that conversation with him, and I think at that level, like I was so unhappy with where I was at that like anything was better than what I was doing. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it was honestly kind of an easy decision with having his support and then being in that mindset of like I just want to do anything else but this.
Were your parents? Your mom was a little scared, but were your parents like okay with you? Like,
Yeah, they were great. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people have the opposite, so I'm very thankful. Like, they were just like, if this is what you want to do, go do it.
I feel like too, since like he was your neighbor and your parents probably knew of him, because I remember watching the video, he was saying like they had a conversation with him, and basically he was like, no, I got him, like I'm gonna mentor him the right way and stuff like that. I feel like there has to be like that comfortability
Yeah.
part with it, and just obviously they can see how successful he is and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, if you're successful at something, you're like people are gonna believe what you're doing because you already have like the proof is there. The proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's probably an easier way for you to do things. But him talking about like the socializing and aspect
Yeah.
and things like that. What was kind of, I guess when people found out that you were starting to become successful and things like that, how did that change like your social life? Did people want to be like around you more, or did you already have your set group of friends? Like, how was that?
Yeah, so I mean, I've just always had like my tight group of friends.
Hmm.
And then with that, like just there's a bunch of kids from like Travis, all that
Hmm.
sort of thing. So it hasn't really changed that much, right? So it's just been the people I've always
Hmm.
been boys with,
Yeah.
whatever, and then just been able to have a little bit more fun now.
Yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah.
So it's
That's
no,
cool.
yeah, it's been pretty there. It's been sick. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been
that's
sick.
cool.
All your like close friends do the same thing you do?
So, uh, like the people I spend more time with now do because we're on the same path.
Mm-hmm.
So like most of my close friends from high school don't, but like my roommate, he's in real estate. His name's Blake. So we went to high school together, and so we're on the same path.
Mhm.
And then I've been able to meet more people doing the same thing as me, which has been like super cool to meet just young people that are really hungry and not just looking to like
Just make a lot of money.
yeah,
Yeah.
just looking to like figure this out now so you don't
Yeah.
have to worry about it later.
Yeah. What is your like big motivation with like entrepreneurship? Is it like the money aspect? Obviously that's nice, or is
Mhm.
it more of just the freedom and having your time and control of like what you do?
That's an interesting question because I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like I think I was asked this question the other day. It's like what motivates you? I think it was the fear of living an average life
Hmm.
because I
I
just
feel
looked
that.
at like I just feel like it's so boring. Like
Yeah.
we're here one time
Yeah.
and I don't want to go get a 9 to 5 job, like just work, come back, be exhausted, go to sleep, and just continue to
Yeah.
repeat that.
And then like on the
Like,
weekend, people go out because it's like their freedom or free
ex-
time or whatever, you know?
exactly. So
Yeah.
that
It's the
just
same,
scared.
like it's a cycle. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that scared me. And then as I've like gotten into it, I've just got like addicted to the game.
Hmm.
Like it's just I don't see myself like 10 years from now, even if like I was able to get fortunate, make a bunch of money and just like
Mm.
kick it back and relax.
Yeah.
So then I can't say it's about like freedom of time.
Yeah.
Right. Because I think I'd still spend my time there. I do want the freedom to be able to choose what I
Yeah.
want to do, but then I'd spend the time doing probably the same
Well,
thing.
you're also so young too. It's like, I mean, you got so many
Yeah.
great prime years ahead of you. So it's like putting that work now. I mean, if you do it the right way, you could chill when you're 30, 35 and enjoy like your life. I always tell him kind of the reason why we started Opinionated Media and wanting to do the content creation thing and all that stuff is more so. I mean, we look at our parents, right? They might be successful, have good jobs, things like that. But when they retire like 55, 60, they
Mhm.
realistically have 10 years to live like their life, like live it how they want to, travel, do whatever they want to. And if you can set yourself up in your youth,
Mhm.
I mean, why not go for it? I mean, a lot of people don't even think like that. I mean, especially like I feel like it's different for like your age demographic. Probably, I mean, obviously there's people in school that you're friends with and people that are doing the same thing as you. But in our age demographic, I see it firsthand. People are just doing stuff for the internet or being social or like, oh, like let's go to the club and put ourselves in debt and get these sections to look good and stuff
Yep.
like that. And then they're like, okay, well, I'm just living my 20s, blah, 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 which is fine. Like, enjoy yourself,
Yeah.
have fun. Like, I like to have fun too. But
Yeah.
I mean, you got to work, I feel like. And it hits different when you know like you can do it and afford it and not care like
Mhm.
because you put that work in, and then it makes you more hungrier for more success. Like, okay, I can do this. Maybe if I work this as hard or this hard, I can go do something else that's even more crazy or extravagant. Like I said, everyone has their needs or their goals, their own internal goals, but I don't know. It's cool to meet someone like you and see like your career path and trajectory, and then see like where we're at and where we want to go, and knowing like the work obviously that has to get put in, and then two, just realizing that you're gonna look back at these days when you were like busting your ass and
Yeah.
just going hard, and then your friends are out, doing the club stuff,
Mhm.
whatever, and then you'd be like 30, 35, and then they're kind of just living that life, and then you can do what you want because you put the work in. So I think that's why I really asked you that, because
Yeah.
it's it's really special that you have that in you so young. Like you just don't see that at all, honestly.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your schedule like right now? Like, what do you have like a schedule you try to go off of? Like, wake up at 5 a.m., do this, work out,
Ooh,
run,
yeah.
study, read, like anything like that, or is it just kind of when you wake up is when you wake up?
So when I first dropped out of school, I was on the like cold shower, waking up at 4:30, like the whole thing.
75 days hard.
Yeah, like the whole thing of all those like online entrepreneur videos that you watch, like how to be like super productive, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I just said, well, I kind of had this mindset shift of like, I hate the morning. Like that's just me personally. And so I mean, my schedule's still like pretty crazy, but I don't do all like that extra, like wake up, run, blah, 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 like still go to the gym, whatever. And so now I wake up 6:30, first meeting at 7. Typically I work, some days are crazy. I won't even get off my computer from like 7 to 4 or 5 just because back to back to back call. But then there's other days where I have like 3 clients to talk to, right? And so I can choose my own calendar, like the clients I talk to, the opportunities I want to talk to, whatever. But it's been crazy lately because I've been doing like 7 to 5, then I'll hit the gym and then I'll like work on content, work on kind of like the next steps, like from 7 to like 10, and then just pass out and then do it again.
So is that like I would say, is that like a 7 to 7, like or 7 days a week, like 7 days, 7 to 7, like 7 days a week type of job?
So,
or do you take the weekends off kind of deal?
so the job itself is, I can take the weekends off. Like it's really like it's flexible.
Okay.
Like so you're doing sales and
Yeah.
you can pick when you want to talk to the clients. Of course, you have to meet your quota, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I've just been pedal on the metal. So I'll work Saturday. I typically take Sunday off from like calls and things like that.
Yeah. Just
kind of
enjoying it.
reset.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's fun.
So what exactly do you do now? Like you're in sales still, but like are you for your own company or do you still work for a company?
So I still work for a company.
Okay.
So I still work for Alex's company.
Got you.
Okay.
Yeah. So we do gym consulting. So
Ah.
we help gym owners make more money,
Gotcha.
get more
Gotcha.
clients, keep them longer, pull different profit levers
Gotcha.
in the business, that sort of thing.
That's not. Do you get like free, like memberships?
Nah,
No?
nah. It's like boot camp style facilities. So
Okay.
it's more of like what your mom would go to. Like
Gotcha.
we do work with like Big Box, which would be like a Gold's Gym or something
Yeah.
like that. But it's like mainly like a CrossFit box, boot
Okay.
camp, those sort of
I didn't know.
boutique style.
I didn't know if you like did anything like with the collective. Have you heard of that gym?
Yeah, Collective is dope.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to them yet.
Yeah. So I actually go there.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, and knows people over there. So I didn't know if you like worked over there, worked with them at all. But
Yeah, I haven't worked with a ton of gyms like directly because we're in like 17 different
Okay.
countries. So
Gotcha.
I'm always talking to people from like everywhere, right? Because it's all on Zoom, right? And so I haven't talked to a ton. I know we just signed up one, I think in North Austin somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot the name of the facility, but we're working with a couple here.
Gotcha. Yeah, bro, Austin's honestly crazy. Like, you got like, obviously, I mean, we're just now learning about the dude you work with and you, and then like you got the collective, and then there's this dude named you know who Devin is? His name's like Devin LaQuise or LaQuincy. He has like 500,000 followers. He like helped kind of start the collective too. He's like a big
Yeah.
fitness guy here in Austin. Has like a ranch and stuff.
Mhm.
So it's just crazy. Like I feel like the opportunity here, even though like you're working with people outside, like
Yep.
in different countries and states, I just feel like, I mean, we get annoyed because we're from here, but I just feel like it is a place to be. Like,
It
as
is.
much as the cost of living is going up, I just feel like we have to stay.
Yep.
What we're trying to do and accomplish, there's just too much opportunity here.
No, Austin's getting crazy. Because I
Yeah.
was thinking about moving somewhere else, but then I
Yeah.
was like, Austin's the spot. Like it's
Is this your first year on Rainy?
yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was gonna say, how much has it gone up from when you first were there? But
Yeah, I have no idea.
we'll find out soon.
I guess we'll find
Uh,
out soon.
So you still work for him, and
Yep.
you've been with him for what,
It's almost
years
2
now?
years now. Yeah.
2 years?
Yep.
Nice. And you still just do the same things when you first started, just cold calling and.
No, so
No?
that's a whole story inside
Yeah.
itself. So I started out cold calling. I started out as an intern, so I didn't get like any hourly, nothing. I just get commission, right? And so I was cold calling there for a while, and then they're like, okay, come full time. That's when I dropped the wholesaling and decided to go full time, pursue that opportunity. And as I was doing it, I wasn't really thinking, like it was a time where I was just so focusing on the work and what I was doing then. I wasn't really thinking ahead. Like I was just like, I'm going to learn this skill and then see what happens. Making enough money to pay for my stuff. I can save some money. I'm just going to try to save as much money as possible. So we lived cheap. Like our rent was 600. We'd go to Costco like all eat as little as we could. It was like the cheapest thing ever. Like we would probably live off like less than $1,000 a month. Something.
Wow.
Like, yeah. So I was just like trying to stack all the money, and over time, like from cold calls, I was just getting better and better. So I'd be able to stack that. And then like my first boss there was like, "Hey, I think you can close by Q3," and that was during Q1. I was like, "Close? All right. Like,
Yeah.
what is this? How does this work?
Yeah.
Okay, this is where you collect the money from the person and like actually have to sell and close them."
Yeah.
And so it ended up where I just worked really hard. I took Alex's advice and I just did, everyone was doing 100 calls. I do 300 a day. So like pretty quickly, I like ramped up and was like noticeable as like a top performer
Mm-hmm.
just because I was just putting in more volume,
Yeah.
which is,
Outworking people.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just if you
Yeah.
could just start that way, then I just naturally started to pick it up,
Mhm.
get better at it through reps. Right. And so they gave me the opportunity to close, but not like, so like I said, like our package is like 42K.
Okay.
Right. So that's like the flagship package
Gotcha.
for gym owners. And like we also have a package for personal trainers. It's like you can sell the package for personal trainers. Business owner's not going to take you seriously, man. You look 12 on Zoom, like all the stuff. And I'm just okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're right. Let me see if I can do it.
Yeah.
So they told me you can close personal trainers if you go and find them
Yeah.
and bring them in. Like they can't come through as a lead.
Okay.
Because typically we run ads, leads will
Mhm.
come in.
Yeah, yeah.
whatever, right. And so I did it. Like I just went and said, okay, started DMing people, DM'd as many people as I could, got a couple responses. And like I got lucky the first call because the first call I got in, the guy just like gave me $4,000. Like
Wow.
I didn't even sell him. Like
Really?
I tried, but I was
Yeah.
so nervous. I was sitting there stumbling over
Yeah.
my words. My computer was like on 4 books, so I had like a decent angle. It was funny. And so I ended up closing that guy and I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
And then of course I failed because I got lucky the first time. And then I got to the point, it took me like 2 to 3 months. I was closing like 2 of these people a week. And I was like, this is crazy. Like I'm closing 2 of these people per week. So I went up to my boss and I go,
Mm-hmm.
let me close the big guys. Like let me
Yeah,
close the gym owners. Let me give it a try. He's like, no, man, you look way too young. There's no way you can do it. And at this point it pissed me off.
Yeah, because you're like you have, supporting evidence that you can get. You should get that opportunity. Like, you open that
Exactly.
door up for yourself, so now you feel like it's being shut on you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you
Exactly.
see both sides to it though?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And I appreciate that they said that
Yeah.
because I do see both sides and I feel like it made me so much better that they didn't just say, okay, you can try it out. Because if I would have tried it out then, maybe I wouldn't have been as good and stayed on the team. Right.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I went, they're like, okay, now if you go and find a gym owner, you can close them. Like after I asked this guy like 3 weeks in a row, like every day, he's like, okay, stop annoying me, go annoy some gym owners and see if you can close them.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay. I went and I brought one back, closed the deal. And then he's like, close 3. And I'm like, all right. So I go and I close 3. So it takes me a couple weeks. I go, I bring back 3. I'm like, okay, I got 3. And he's like, you know what? Go get some more. And how I remember after that meeting, I got up and I just like went on a walk and I was just like, at that point I was so angry because I was like maxing out because I had to do the cold call job. I was closing personal trainer. So I was like doing 3 jobs in one.
Yeah.
I was also like nurturing everyone's leads. So making sure all the appointments showed, scheduling
Are
that.
you getting compensated for that or no?
I was.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was, but I was just burnt
But
out.
yeah,
I
it's
was
all
burnt out.
understandable.
It was just, it was a lot.
Literally all day.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. But also I'm grateful for it because it taught me how to expand my work capacity.
Yeah.
Which is like a skill I'm still working on, but it's like such a valuable skill if you can
Yeah.
just outwork everyone else and like have your attention be split in all these different places and still get everything done.
Oh yeah.
Like it's crazy valuable. And so I think I had to bring back like 1 or 2 more. And then it got to the point where I was like, okay, give this kid a shot.
Yeah.
And I still remember it was a year, probably a year and a half ago now. It took me like 5-6 months to get up to that point. And I was like staring at my computer screen. It was like a year after I dropped out of school. And it said OTE. Do you guys know what OTE is?
Mm-mm.
Like on target earnings.
Okay.
So like with sales, it's like commission
Yeah, okay,
based.
now-
So
okay,
you get a salary
Gotcha.
or
Yeah.
commission.
Yeah.
And it just said OTE 150. And I was just sitting there. I was like, this is crazy. Like I dropped out of school a year ago.
Yeah.
And now I'm like sitting here looking at this piece of paper And then I just remember like it being like so satisfying for a second, and then I got so scared. It's like- because I had to keep the job. Like it was something where I went in, and I remember the first week I got like a couple deals closed, and then
Oh.
the second week I got no deals closed.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting, I'm like, I just worked my way all the way up to this opportunity. I sacrificed everything for it.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah.
So then that's what motivated me through that period of time.
Mhm.
And I just went, I would do sales all day, try to pack my calendar from as early to as late as I could. And then as soon as I finished, like after I got back from the gym or whatever, I just watch the top guy's game tape. So I'd watch like 2 to 3 hours a night, just trying to figure out what he did. Right. So the recordings of his sales calls, just watching and watching and watching him. And then I got to the point where I was actually pretty competent at it. So I started closing, like now we close 3 to 5 people a week. So with that, I'm like right in second place for right under the top guy.
Gotcha. And the top, and I guess like what is the age demographic for like everybody else besides you?
It's like 40,
See,
44.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like that you're with these people and you're like
Yeah.
so young. You don't. I guess are they like intimidated by you or anything? Or is that like you don't think that like
They're
they
all
don't
great,
know?
man. They're all like they're all super cool. Like
Okay.
it's such a super cool culture there
Yeah.
because we're all like helping each other out and
Okay.
helping each other grow. So it's like the top guy's been super good as like almost like a big brother within it.
Okay.
Like mentoring me,
Yeah.
showing me like the
Yeah, that's
ropes.
cool.
And then all the other guys too.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
been
cool.
super helpful.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
cool. I feel like that's a good part about it because I mean, you know, everyone's just differently motivated, so it's
Mhm.
like they could just say like, dang, like this kid is like doing so much better than me, and like
Yeah.
you know how it would go. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy, bro. Honestly, so you're packing your calendar. I guess you're closing like 3 to 5 deals now a week.
Mhm.
Are you doing? Is it quicker now, or is it still like the same? Like I guess length of time where it takes to like average close somebody. I guess.
Yep. So with like it's typically the 2 call close. So
Okay.
typically and that's I mean, it used to take me like typically 3 to 4 calls. So I've definitely shortened the process and then just like really getting to the point.
Yeah.
Right. People appreciate that if
Yeah.
you don't beat around the
You're
bush.
just
Like,
honest too.
why are we here?
Yeah.
What do we need to do? Like,
Yeah.
okay, can we solve that problem? Yes, we can, or no, we can't. Right. So to answer your question, yeah, I've definitely gotten faster at sales.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Did he teach you sales or you taught yourself sales?
When you who are you referring to?
Alex.
So he put me in the position. He also has like a bunch of content, so I like watch all the
Yeah.
content and figure it out.
Just sub to him too.
But he put
Yeah.
me in a position where I think the only real way to learn sales, like you can like if I were to go back and learn sales, I would find like a starting sales job where you can just get some practice.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you just jump in and you try to go straight for closing and you haven't talked on the phone before, then you're gonna sound weird. Like you're gonna sound robotic. You're gonna sound like you're reading from a script. So that's like if you can get on the phones first, or at least get in something that gets you on the phones, and then start looking up to people who've done like a lot of sales. Now you can buy that information a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And then get a lot better faster. But you should also be doing it at the same time. So I just learned by like really doing it, and then the resources at Gym Launch are really good, just because I mean it's a crazy company.
Yeah.
Like Alex scaled the company from he had like $1,200 in his bank account, and he sold 66% for 47 million last year.
Sheesh.
So like he scaled it very quickly in like 5 years.
Yeah, and he still has like 40% more. Like
Yeah.
that's insane.
And they're all good at sales.
Yeah.
It's like it's just a great environment to be around.
Yeah.
To do the thing and then also get the feedback that it
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And how old is he? Like you said 32?
It's like 33.
That's crazy, bro.
He's young too.
He's still super young.
Yeah,
like
he's young.
Young as hell. And it's dope too that I feel like he had to have seen himself in you for him to bet on you at such a young age. Like you're 17 at the time, probably 18 at the time.
Yeah, like 18.
Yeah. Well, 17 probably when he talked to him, 18 like
Yeah.
when he started working for him.
I started washing his cars probably when I was like 16 or something.
Yeah. And then
that's really
like
good.
for him just to like bet on you and take you under and like, hey, start come working out with me and giving you advice and all this, he had to have seen himself in you for him to do that.
Yeah.
That's dope that he
Yeah.
that he took you under his wing.
I'm so fortunate to have that situation, like just the way it happened, because I like look back on it, because like all the things that seemingly were bad at the times, this is like a huge lesson I've learned over the last couple years, because like normally the one school I picked, right, was the one school that didn't open, the other two opened, right, and the reason I picked the school was mostly because it opened, right, and then I got like caught cheating on a test, would normally be a terrible thing, right. The first 3 4 businesses failed that I had would normally be a terrible thing, but it all led to the point of where I got like connected with this mentor that's just like doing crazy things in the space right now, and I've just been able to build like super valuable skill sets. So it's cool to look at it like through that lens of like these are all the things that were bad at the time. So like if you're going through anything like bad now, like you'll probably look back in the future and be like, oh, this happened because I'm here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
makes sense.
that's
nice.
that's crazy, bro. Honestly,
So what are your plans for the future? What is next for you? Like obviously you don't want to keep doing this,
Yep.
So like what do you want to start, like your own thing, your own sales thing, or your own business, or do you want to continue working under sales but just with another company?
Yeah, so I'm working on figuring that out. So like top of mind right now is I want to give people the same opportunity that I had,
Mm.
right? Because it's like obviously like fortunate place, right time, that sort of thing. Like I will make the argument like that I did all these things to be able to like put myself in that position, but I wasn't like he was my neighbor, right?
yeah, exactly.
Like at the end of the day, right?
Yeah,
And so I just want to be able to give people that same opportunity that I had. And it's like so possible now because just a lot of people don't know this exists. Because, like, fundamentally, if you're going to get into business, any type of business, the number one skill set you need to learn is sales.
Mhm.
Like, you need to be able to sell your ideas, sell
absolutely.
people, be able to work with, like, sales is the foundation to what you want to do in the future.
Yeah.
Whether you're an artist, whether you're a DJ, like anything it is, if you can sell, you'll just be 10 times more successful. Right.
Yeah.
And so, what I want to be able to do is just give other people that same opportunity. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet, but that's kind of like the motivation behind putting out the content. So as I'm doing the sales, I just want to document the process
Yeah.
and just show what I'm doing to like, it's been cool to see because I've had friends reach out. I've had random people reach out to me and they're like, hey, like, how do I do this? And it's
Yeah.
cool to be able to give like some guidance and point them in the right direction because there's a lot of people out there that look at school and like look at what they're doing and say, this does not align with what I want to do. So
And those people who graduate with a degree don't even get a job with whatever they
it's like
got a degree
20%.
in. Yeah,
It's
They
like
don't
20.
use it, or they go
Yeah.
back
It's
to
like-
school.
yeah.
Like, I mean,
yeah.
just-
I know like 5 people with a degree that are not doing what their degree is.
Yeah. Yeah. And imagine 10 years later, like how many of them are actually going to be in the same field?
Yeah.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
shit, look at me.
Even
Yeah.
then, well, I'm not like with you. It's like how many of those, like, you just got caught cheating, but like how many of
Yeah.
those actually even don't get caught but still pass?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, then you don't even know like who's like. I mean,
Who's smart and who's
well, you
not.
do, but
Yeah.
like it'll all pan itself out. But you, like at the end of the day, you don't know though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, even then, it's like I feel like even if you have a degree, you can get like somewhat of a good job because you have a degree.
Yep.
But it's like, man, I just cheated my way through college. All right, here we are. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm good. That was great, man. I mean,
Yeah, that was
I
super
could sit
good.
here and talk for hours, but I think we're like on an hour and a half now.
Yeah, that's fine though.
We were talking that long.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Dope to hear your story. I mean, I'm glad you're successful and
Yeah. I appreciate it.
I'm glad you're happy doing what you do because not many people can say they're happy doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for y'all. Like
Yeah,
this
Thank you.
is
Appreciate that.
like the fact that you've already been doing this for how many years?
Almost. Well, I say 3, but
It's
it has been 3, but this
Yeah.
is our first
You're
real year,
taking
and we're
steps.
already seeing like the growth. And,
Yeah.
I mean, just it's cool to meet someone like you that's so young doing this because we know other people that are similar that are
Mhm.
our age doing it, and then just like I mean, meeting you,
Yeah.
expanding like a network essentially, like meeting you, and then we can connect you with the people we know, and like
Yeah.
it's just cool to see like an ever growing tree, and then like everyone's like working with each other in the same space, like they all want the same goals.
Yep.
So that's really what's got me so excited just talking to you because I'm like, damn, like there's really no excuse. Like for people who want to do that stuff, there's no excuse. I'm like, look at what, your whole story, like what you're doing. the work you're putting in. You're taking advantage too of like being young, not being married, and having kids and stuff like that. Like you have to take advantage of that because I mean, it's possible to do that with having that also in your life, but if you can take advantage of it while you're young and don't have that responsibility, then you got to do it if that's what you want to do. And it's cool to like see it panning out and working in your favor. So, yeah, I think that's it.
I had one last thing.
Yeah.
How much? I guess how much did sports in general help you to where you're at now?
That's a great question. I think a lot. Like, to be honest, going through that the Lake Travis program, it, how do I word this right? It taught me how not to be soft. Like, cause it's just like it was a hard program. Like,
Yeah.
we did hard things, like pretty decently hard. So like when I got into, like, especially the job, I know so many people, you know, especially my age, who will like not get something they want the first time and then just like dip, like just quit. Right. So like taught me that grit more or less. But also even like the little things, like watching game tape, like I even say the word game tape because I watch film like all the time.
It's the same.
When
Yeah.
I got into sales, I'm like, how do I get good at this? I just
Yeah.
watch film. Right.
Absolutely.
So it was a lot of different correlations. And then I think just work ethic, grit, and then being able to understand and learn how to play on like a deeper level. Because like in football, there's like so many little things that you'd pick up on. Like you know this of course, right? So it's being able to understand that and then apply that to anything else.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't give sports enough credit in that aspect.
Yeah.
Like, to go what you're saying is they don't get it, so they leave.
Yep.
Like, I just, like, the mental toughness to, like, be able to stay and stick it out and still do it.
Yep.
Because we play sports. Like, sports is set up to literally fail.
Yep.
Like, you're set up to literally fail. And I played baseball, so I play the game that fails the most.
Yep.
Especially with, like, hitting. Like, you're going to the Hall of Fame batting 3 for 10. You're going 3 for 10, you're batting 300, you're going to the Hall of Fame. Like,
We say the same thing about
it's like,
sales.
dude, 300? Like,
Yeah.
you're
30%.
hitting a hit.
Yeah.
30%. You're gonna hit 30% of the time you go at bat, and you're in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Like, I played a game that set you up for failure, and I feel like sports plays a big part in a lot of successful things.
I agree.
Just because of how you're bred with sports, basically.
Yep.
Yeah, the mindset, learning to deal with failure and how to accept failure and get better from failure. Watching the film, studying, and being able to pick up certain stuff like that.
It's huge.
Yeah. So, but anything for us? You have any questions for us?
I mean, I'm excited for y'all. Like genuinely excited for
Thank
y'all.
you,
'Cause
appreciate
I'd
that.
love to see like just the hustle, like the grind.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, yeah.
being like, yeah.
The
It's
future
just addicting too, bro.
yeah,
Like
the future is exciting.
Yeah.
It's definitely more exciting now, because we finally got our LLC knocked out the way.
Boom.
So it's definitely more exciting now. We can do a lot more things.
Mm-hmm.
We're able to get a lot more things.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna start doing a lot more fun interactive videos for the
Yep.
like more engaging videos for the audience to see. So the ideas we have and what we're gonna do is gonna be fun. So that is very exciting and
Yeah.
I think it'll be cool.
Yeah. Just opportunities too. Like, I mean, like this year has been crazy. Like the guests we've had on between like you to like the other people we've had on earlier in the year, it's just it's been so insane. And now I just get excited because I'm like I want you to meet like my older friend. Like well, he's not older, but he's like a year older than me.
Yep.
My friend Braxton and like these dudes, they do similar stuff to you that you do, but they're older. But it's like I guess is like all I'm thinking about. I'm like, I want everyone to meet each other, network, like
Yep.
They literally start at the same age as you, probably the same ideas as you. Like
Yeah.
they,
We got to get the Austin scene together.
Yeah, and there's we got some off camera. I'll talk to you about some stuff that because we did a podcast last Monday and they invited us out to network. Actually, one of them follows you. His name's like Matt Wilmington.
For Rising.
Yeah, we did.
I'm going on that. In
Yeah,
like a couple
we
weeks.
we just did theirs on Monday. It's dope. Fire setup.
Yep.
Those dudes are amazing.
They're dope.
Yeah.
They're
dope. It's
amazing,
gonna be
bro.
fun.
I'm going on in a
Yeah.
couple weeks.
Yeah, you're gonna have fun, bro. It's a blast. They're amazing,
Yeah.
dude.
They're dope people. They're very very genuine people.
Yeah, very genuine, bro.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Hell yeah.
But make sure to give them like, you have he said you do content. You have YouTube,
Instagram.
Instagram right now?
So you
Yeah.
do the reels.
I'm doing, and I'll start the YouTube soon. It's
You-
just Jacob Hopkins.
Yeah.
Jacob
Yeah.
Hopkins. Okay. We'll have everything down below. You'll know the deal. Run it up. He's family. Y'all know the deal. Y'all know the drill. But this will do it from your boys over here at Opinionated. We'll catch y'all guys next time. Peace.
Peace.